I wasn't actually sure whether to introduce this video or this car with a video or not, because I don't know what's going on with it. It's a 1988 Senator 3 litre 12 valve auto. It is a non-runner at the moment. I bought it for not a lot of money, for shits and giggles really. I bought another one, so I was going to make a good one out of the two, but decided really I couldn't be bothered, so I've sold the red rusty one on, and this one I'm planning on just getting it running, maybe do a few welding jobs, MOT it, sell it on. But the reason I like it is because you can't see it now, but it's got the LCD dashboard, like the Digi Dash. It's also got electric dampers, dual zone climate, aircon, cruise, electric windows, electric sunroof, ABS. So it's a fully loaded 3 litre CD, but doesn't have the boot spoiler. I always thought they had that, but apparently they don't. So I haven't even tried to do anything with it yet, but I'm told by the previous owner that the fuel pump's knackered. So I'm putting a battery in it to see what the dash does, and also I've bought a spare pump that my mate lent me from a BMW, so I'm going to shove that in, or at least wire it in, and see if it makes noises when the ignition's on. We shall see. Got the battery on. It's out of the diesel. It's really tall, so it's a bit of a stretch to get those on, so I'll have to try and find a better battery, one that's not quite as tall. I have done nothing yet. I can just about see the interior lights are on, but that's it. I haven't turned the key yet, so this is going to be quite interesting because I'm very excited to see this. I haven't done this yet, so this will be genuinely the first time I turn the key. It's an LCD dash, but they can be problematic, so I'm just really hoping it works, because if it doesn't, I'll be annoyed, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, headlights means. That's just the buzzer for the headlights to tell you that they're on. I'm just going to turn the ignition. That's stage 1, stage 2. Ow. That instrument cluster does not look happy at all. Starter works very slowly, but yeah, that's a shame. I was hoping to show you nice shiny lights and things, but it doesn't look like we're going to get there. Damn it. Right, first disappointment. Let's see what else goes on in here when the ignition is on. Backlighting for all of that works. Does the radio work? Oh, I thought I had something then. No, radio's dead. Damn it. Well, maybe there's some crackles. Ooh! It is trying.
The charity called support.
Maybe it just needs tuning.
It's jukebox Janet. Radio to jukeboxes, Janet. It's only playing Snippet to my fave smash hits. So Tracy and Tim are going head to head to try to complete as many lyrics as possible for me by singing the next line.
Oh well, that's enough playing around with that bit. Oh, heated seat. I'm going to go and see if I can find out where the pump is and get access to it. Shush! Here we are under the back of the car. That is the fuel pump and filter unit. The pump is up there. Basically, I'm not going to be able to film it, but I'm going to put a meter on it and just see whether I'm getting 12 volts there. The ignition's on, so theoretically the pump should be on, primed, pumping up, and pressure should be maintained by the regulator, and then should auto shut off, I guess, but it's not doing anything at the moment, so I'm going to see if it actually is getting power, and then I'll work back from there. I've been poking around at this for a while, and although it looks a bit crappy under there, and the wires I'll definitely want to re-terminate, I don't think it's the pump that's the problem, because I can't get any power there whatsoever. So I think it must be a relay, or heaven forbid an immobiliser issue. I think I've got some more. That is good. There is some more instruments illuminated on there than I had thought. Maybe it's a brightness issue. weird. Yeah, so I can't really do a lot more tonight because I need to go away and find out where the fuel pump relay is, or if there's any big multi-fuses for it. I don't have a handbook for this car either. I'm presuming it's one of these in here, or it might even be one in the engine bay. I don't know yet. This is the first Senator, well, first working sort of Senator I've ever had. Is that a fuse box? Yeah, it's a fuse box. We have, ooh, lots of fuses. Relays. So I'll take some pictures which I can then use for reference on the internet, unless they have them written on it. What's that? I can't read it. Right, I might either try and do some googling on my phone, or I'll take some photos, get myself a manual and take another look another time. It's the next day, it's raining, but I have been doing what I usually do, which is failing to open the bonnet. That's the first thing. Come on, you bastard. Yeah, done a bit of internet stuff. That one is the fuel pump relay, and I need to jump 30 and 87 something or other. Oh, I've got to look it up. One of them basically switches the fuel pump, so if I bridge 30 and 87 or 87B, I'll have to remind myself, then the pump should be on full time with the ignition. In fact, it might be powered directly even without the ignition on, so I'll insert my cable, which I have knocked up, and then see what happens. I've got my jumper wire in. According to the wiring diagram, I think that's permanently on. Like the 30 is a permanent battery, so as soon as that's connected, it should do the pump. I don't hear anything, so now we've got to go looking for fuse 20. I'll just turn the ignition and see what happens actually. If I can find the keys. What have I done with keys? Oh, next thing, find the keys. I was getting confused by this, so I thought I'd try it again. That's pumping 12 volts. I just checked with my crappy little test light. Battery connected, ignition off, fuel pump relay bridged. And now if I go under here and I connect, where are we? Doesn't help. That is one terminal, that is the other. Right, so I'm getting 12 volts at the pump. Just ain't doing nothing. So I think it is the pump. The relay might be okay, the wiring might be okay. I'm on a mission. Speed is of the essence. I have got multimeter thing, new fuel pump. Well, not new. I've borrowed this off my mate Theo. It's out of a BMW, but it is a Bosch of similar era to the Senator. No idea if it's the right flow rate or whatever, but I don't really care, because so long as something gets to the engine at this stage, I don't mind. It'll do something, and that's really all I need. So I've got the car in the air on a jack, a couple of stands in there just to stop it squashing me, and I'm going to try and swap the pump over. Another day, another experiment. Can't remember where I got to last time, but basically I had worked out I had spark. I had replaced the pump and found that to be working, but it still wouldn't fire. I haven't got any sort of test light to check the injector pulsing, but because that relay switches the injectors as well as the fuel pump, I think the ECU is doing its thing, so I'm presuming there's injectors there. So the next sensible thing to do is to get rid of all the old fuel. So I've done that by bridging the pump with that jumper wire, taking the relay out, batteries on, and I've got the old fuel being pumped into that big old tank there. This won't get me to the bottom of the tank because of the shape of the tank and where the pickup is, but it'll be a start. And then in that can I've got some new fuel from the petrol station. I think there's probably about 10-15 litres in there. So once that's pumped out, I'll pour a load of new fuel in, see what happens. I've just given it a squirt of best Tesco's de-icer, and you can get it to fire up. So the ignition side of things is okay. I just had the multimeter on the injector. It's not the best way of doing it, really need a test light, but yeah, injector number 1 fluctuates slightly with the multimeter, so I think it's doing something. Like the actual ECU is commanding the injectors to do something. The fuel is coming up to the rail because I took the return off and I was getting fuel out. I might try that again actually, just to see how much fuel's coming out, but basically I think I might have gummed up, stuck dirty injectors. I'm surprised not one of them is working, and it's not like trying to cough into life, but it doesn't seem to be. So really that's the next thing to try. Right, I'm actually starting to get somewhere now. I tried the de-icer and I got it to fire up briefly, so I did that a couple of times just to reassure myself that it was actually sparking much as I thought it was. Fuel pump delivers fuel to the rail. I wasn't 100% sure the injectors were working, but the multimeter suggested they probably were. So what I did was I pulled the return fuel line off the rail and just pumped fuel through it, because I'm pretty sure that it's just a fueling issue. But when I did that, I got fuel everywhere, and it's not like basically it feels like WD-40. It tastes like oil rather than fuel. It doesn't evaporate off in the same way. So I think what we're dealing with here is just seriously old shitty fuel. I've probably, oh yeah, by the way, I doused it in water because I basically pissed fuel everywhere, and although it's really basically oil, it's all the like higher octane stuff has evaporated off and you're left with sludge effectively. But I figured it better to wash it down rather than set fire to myself. But it was starting to cough as if it wanted to go like that. So I'm going to continue just trying to flush that rail through, and I might buy even more fresh petrol and shove it in the tank, because I only had about 10 litres and I'm sure there's about half, I don't know, there's probably as much shit fuel in there as there is good. But yeah, I'm just going to keep playing with it and hopefully it will fire up after not too long. Well, the moment wasn't captured on film, but we do now have a running Senator, so that's good. I need to do up that fuel pipe union before it pisses out fuel again. We've got a big air leak in the intake sock, so it's not measuring the air it's taking in, so the fueling's going to be well off anyway. But mechanically, it's all good. So yeah, buying a complete unknown like that, it's done 140 odd thousand miles I think, or 100 and, well, I don't know, it's because it's got the digital cluster. It's not telling me, but it's done a lot of miles, I'm guessing. So yeah, we shall see how we get on. Well, clearly there was only one fitting way to celebrate. That was to fit some disgustingly large wheels that I just happen to have. They are 18-inch alloys. The fronts are, I think, 8-inch wide. Rears are 10-inch, which I think look cool. But yeah, I'm just taking it around the block. Drives sweet as a nut. Power steering's all come back to life. The Digi Dash is a big fat fail, unfortunately. That's basically going to need to be taken apart. But otherwise, I'm extremely happy with that. That car was 350 quid. Bought completely sight unseen, untested. But I think it's cool. I really like it now. So I'm going to put it to bed and then start going through the things I'll need in order to get an MOT.